What if our common understanding of virtue and happiness is completely wrong? What if there's more to these concepts than we think? Welcome to the world of the Stoic paradoxes, a collection of 6 legendary sayings that seem to challenge and contradict our conventional understanding. These paradoxes are the brainchild of the Stoics, a group of philosophers who were not only known for their profound wisdom, but also for their keen interest in paradoxes. They weren't just content with a surface-level understanding of things. Instead, they delved deep, exploring the intricate layers of truth, knowledge, and perception. At the heart of the Stoic paradoxes lie 3 core principles. First, virtue is the sole good. Second, virtue is all you need for happiness. And third, all good deeds are equally virtuous, just like all bad deeds are equally vicious. To the uninitiated, these statements might appear puzzling, even laughable. But for the Stoics, these paradoxes encapsulated the essence of their philosophy, often explained only within the confines of their inner circles. But the Stoics didn't just stop at moral paradoxes, they also ventured into the realm of logical paradoxes, wrestling with some of the most perplexing conundrums. From the liar paradox that explores the contradictory nature of truth and lies, to the sorites paradox that challenges our understanding of vague concepts, the Stoics left no stone unturned. They dived into the hooded man paradox, exploring the difference between knowing a fact and recognizing an individual. They even grappled with the horned man paradox, a loaded question that presupposes a false premise. These paradoxes were not mere intellectual exercises for the Stoics, they were tools, powerful instruments they used to probe the nature of truth, knowledge, and perception, refining their system of logic in the process. So, are you ready to challenge your perceptions and rethink virtue and happiness? Are you ready to dive into the fascinating world of the Stoic paradoxes? If so, buckle up. The journey is about to begin. So let's dive into these paradoxes and see what we can learn. Let's start with the first paradox. Virtue is the sole good. Now this might seem a bit counterintuitive, right? We often think of good as a broad category, encompassing everything from a delicious meal to a well-earned vacation. But the Stoics saw it differently. For them, virtue was the only true good. That's because virtue, in their view, is the only thing that's always beneficial and fully within our control. Things like wealth, fame, and even health, while often considered good, can be lost or diminished through no fault of our own. But virtue? It's something you cultivate within yourself, something that can't be taken away. This paradox challenges us to reconsider our understanding of what is truly good. It asks us to question whether external circumstances, the things we often chase after, are as valuable as we think. So according to the Stoics, virtue is not just one of many goods, but the only real good. Now let's move on to the second paradox. Virtue is the sole requisite for happiness. This paradox suggests that one's happiness isn't dependent on the accumulation of material wealth, nor on the attainment of power or fame. Rather, it is virtue that is the key to true happiness. This perspective challenges our societal norms and the common understanding of what it means to be happy. We live in a world where success is often measured by the size of our bank accounts, the power we hold, or the fame we've achieved. But the Stoics, they saw things differently. They held the belief that living a virtuous life, a life imbued with wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, is the only path to genuine happiness. So, could it be that we've been chasing the wrong things in our pursuit of happiness? According to the Stoics, the answer is a resounding yes. So, in the Stoic view, it's not wealth, power, or fame that brings happiness, but virtue. And finally, the third paradox. All good deeds are equally virtuous and all bad deeds are equally vicious. This statement at first glance can seem quite perplexing. In our everyday thinking, we tend to grade actions on a scale of good to bad. We might think giving $1 to a homeless person is good, but surely not as virtuous as dedicating one's life to alleviating poverty, right? Well, the Stoics would disagree. According to them, any action deriving from virtue is equally virtuous, and any action deriving from vice is equally vicious. The intention and the virtue behind the action are what truly matter, not the scale or perceived impact of the act. This challenges our conventional wisdom, which often ranks deeds based on their visible outcome. But for the Stoics, it's the underlying principle and motive that count. In essence, a good deed is a good deed no matter how small. So for the Stoics, there's no such thing as a small good deed or a minor vice. So, what can we take away from these Stoic paradoxes? Well, let's journey back through the pillars of the paradoxes we've unveiled today. The first, an intriguing premise that virtue is the sole good. It's a thought-provoking notion, isn't it? that everything we typically associate with good, like wealth or success, may not hold a candle to the value of virtue in the Stoics' eyes. Then we sailed into the second paradox, which proposes that virtue alone is the golden ticket to happiness. It's a refreshing perspective, one that detaches happiness from material possession or social status, and instead ties it to our moral compass, our virtue. Our exploration then led us to the third paradox, asserting that all good deeds share the same level of virtue and all bad deeds the same level of vice. It's a radical reshaping of our usual understanding, where we often grade actions on a sliding scale of good and bad. These paradoxes, seemingly counterintuitive at first, are in fact a reflection of the Stoics' deep-rooted beliefs. Their philosophy urges us to reevaluate our common understanding, to question the norms we've accepted without a second thought. It's a nudge, a gentle push for us to reconsider our perceptions of virtue, happiness, and the nature of deeds. The Stoics didn't just throw these paradoxes out there for intellectual amusement. No, they used them as tools to delve into the essence of truth, knowledge, and perception. Each paradox, like a meticulously crafted key, unlocks a new way of viewing the world, a fresh angle to approach the complexities of life. While these paradoxes may seem puzzling at first, they offer us a different perspective on virtue and happiness, and invite us to question our own beliefs and assumptions. So next time you find yourself in a philosophical quandary, remember the Stoic paradoxes. They might just offer the insight you need, challenging you to see the world through a lens you never thought to try on before.